Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. You'll never guess who I have here with me. It's Special Head. Yes, he is, right here by himself. Me and Ed.
Hello
Special.
There. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Big show today.
Big show, really big show. What's going on out there?
That's Head Sullivan.
Head Sullivan. What is moving?
Well, I saw weed blast through its old high, and you kind of intimated that yesterday. I wasn't so sure, but now I see
fundamentals win again. Yes.
But soft. It's backing off, and it's now back under 50. I'd like to see where it closes, because if it closes somewhere near yesterday's high, it was a terrible day because everybody that's in today is underwater. Mommy, why'd you make me buy that stock?
But what happens if it's just a small little correct and it takes off?
Boom! I don't know. You know, it gets complicated, but
it's complicated.
It's had a big.
That usually means you're screwing around behind the scenes.
It's had a big move. ACB, I see it going by here, up 46 cents. What's that? About 5%.
Yeah. What are you looking at? Oh boy, you're just taking out of the top. Oh.
Yeah, look at that. There's clues everywhere if you look hard enough. Clues.
Wow, I'm clueless apparently.
Now, why is Afria down?
Okay, so I'm logging back into my...
Afria's down. Look at this.
Down
8 cents.
Yeah. You know, let's start with a big fat look at the... oh, you bringing us some water, Suzanne? Come on the set. Don't be shy. The camera won't bite you.
Is there wonderful Suzanne?
Is there vodka in there?
Oh.
Is that GHB? XTC? DDT?
I can usually tell if it's vodka. I start to shake.
Oh, careful, don't. Easy, watch with the microphones, all right? I'll let you know whether it's vodka.
Just, you're supposed to drink it all and say,
well,
yeah, I think it's only the mild stuff, though.
You heard that it's bad to guzzle ice-cold beverages?
Yeah.
Bad for the system?
Yeah, bad for the system.
Bad for the system. 33.3% economic growth.
Growth.
Is bad for the system.
You know what?
So anyways, we have here today, Russell Stanley is going to be joining us. Russell Stanley, if you don't recognize that name, you're probably not a client of Echelon Wealth Partners. Echelon Wealth Partners is one of the independent investment banks down here on Bay Street. And
formerly, what was Echelon Partners formerly?
Well, arguably, Echelon, some of them came from GMP, some of them came from Dundee.
Dundee, I was thinking.
Well, Dundee also hived off and took a bunch of guys that became 8. I mean, trying to keep up with these boys, it's like, boy, your head.
Emerald Health up to 30 cents. But you know what? They're not all up. Some are up, some are down. So it's...
Some are up, some are down.
The market's getting a little more discerning, I think.
Why are the stocks down, Ed?
More sellers and buyers.
And why are the stocks up?
More buyers and sellers.
Damn! It's that simple, isn't it?
It really is.
All right. Let's take a look at our oh, wait a sec. We might have to turn on the mysterious...
There's your favorite stock, Hexo. Up a dime.
Oh, NDI, NDX, my favorite stock.
What
used to be my favorite stock. It's coming back. You know, I don't have anything more to say about Hexo. I mean, all I have to say is that, you know, if you really want some pro market communications advice, we're available. Let's see here. Okay.
Oh, Ian, that's
Hadley. Ian is Hadley.
IAN is Ianthus, isn't it?
That's Hadley.
Yeah, okay, so that's down 9 cents.
9 cents. That's some profit taken there on the recent effusiveness. JWC, down to 61. I think they're just letting the weak sisters bleed out on that one. The company that owns 15% of that is Canopy Rivers, and it's going public at some point in September, perhaps the first week, perhaps the second week.
Interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, Canopy Rivers, just under 200 million shares out. The last financing, $3.50 a share. What does that make the impending implied market cap? $7 a share? $7 a share. So this has...
$7.
This has a lot of similarities in market cap and structure, as does TGOD. And, oh, guess who was here this morning? Brian Athaide, the CEO of TGOD. Finally, we got TGOD in the house.
Holy smokes.
I tried to ask him some tough questions. He has an excellent skill set when it comes to own the conversation, meaning ignore whatever you're being asked. Just tell the story the way you want it to be told.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
Well,
no, actually, I should say
that's a skill set.
Are you
suggesting he was...
He was a bulldozer. He was good, you know.
Yeah, he put you in your place.
I was trying to, you know, challenge him on a few of the tougher issues, and he basically skated around me. And, you know, it's not like we're...
Put the puck in the net. He skated around you, but...
Yeah, well, but it's soft.
Soft.
Puck in the net. This is more like a long and graceful figure dance of many years.
This isn't just a...
This is not a silly end-to-end
three-period hockey game.
Anyways, look at that. Our stocks are up. 1.1% small cap cannabis composite.
Okay.
Raw! So we just see that monster.
There we go. Look at this.
Look at that.
Well,
what? Woo!
I got to tell you, I'm impressed that these...
Is this a sector revaluation to the upside, plain and simple?
Well, look at this chart. Can we get the chart up a little higher so I can? It's not
chart a little higher. Boy, you're becoming very fussy, Ed.
Very fussy.
No, I can't actually move it up any higher.
Why not?
Oh, there I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I lied.
Okay, so
want me to pull up the analyst?
No.
chart?
This is good. So look at right now. We've had a high here, and then then we get about the same high.
Yeah, don't forget, this is not weed. This is the...
No, I know. This is a composite index. But here we went through it, but we didn't stay through it. We came back down, back into this, we got, you know what I'm saying, eh? Like where we are now is basically back into these highs.
Go back to the last support zone.
Yeah, so look at it's still very unconclusive, but what a move.
Yeah.
Ever since Constellation decided to get big about it.
Yeah, now let's pull up weed on the analytical, the Quote Media Pro machine. And I just got to say, I am enjoying the hell out of this little toy we have here. Charts. Let's go to the charts. Here's the default chart on weed, the intraday.
That's an intraday, yeah.
Yeah, so, this thing, you can make a living trading this thing on the open.
Oh, yeah.
Always comes off and sells off on the open, or it always takes off.
No, look at this. Look at this. This thing, wow, that's amazing. This all happened in an hour. This thing came 52 and change, got down to 48, 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't see that this morning. I wasn't paying that much attention. Obviously, I don't own any stock. I could have bought 10 shares the other day if I put my pennies together.
I've been in and out.
Look at this. But I don't know. This is. We'll see. I'm jury's out here. I'm not.
So I'm really interested in maybe doing a technical-based trade here, Ed. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna turn this into the let's call it a 6-month look. Hello, 6-month look. Okay. Now, what I want to do.
Wow.
Is I want to add. Oh, okay. Is this because I'm logged in? Okay, so let's add the 50 and the 100-day moving average, or 50 and 200, because that's important. The overlay. Do we want an overlay? Do you want your Bollinger Bands, Ed?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll throw the Bollinger Bands on there. Lower indicator will be volume, and we want...
Put the RSI up there.
Yeah, we want RSI too.
That's an easy one to work with.
Okay. Oops, advanced. Where's the
there's something that just when you had the candles up there, I wanted to. There's something that really glaringly caught my eye.
Okay, so I should go back to that.
Go back to where you just came from.
Okay,
that's it. And here's what caught my eye. If you look, and again, this is so you had a. Bollinger Band up here that was totally outside. A candlestick outside, and then we had a bit of a fairly good period of consolidation. But look at this. This thing has gone from almost touching the lower band, changing the direction here, and look at the whole candlestick is outside, which indicates statistically an unusual event. Not necessarily unusual, but rare. It doesn't happen very often. In fact, it only happened here in the last 6 months once.
Yeah.
Right there. So what does that tell you? That tells you that, that's not, you're not going to see it. I would almost guarantee you tomorrow you won't see another band, another candlestick totally outside the band.
So you're suggesting tomorrow is going to be a day of correction?
Correction, or it could move sideways, but
okay.
I don't think we're going to see new highs tomorrow.
No.
Okay. Anyway, but look, big volume. I mean, look at this thing. This has been a champion from $32 to $52 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 1 week. Guy could make a, you know, could put a dent in his.
All right.
Well, I was going to say no. I was going to say he could retire early on something like that if he knew what he was doing, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Okay, cat's a single day on Canopy Growth. So let's set this thing up. We want 50. We want 200. What the hell happened to my lower? Is the volume? Where'd the RS? Oh, there's the relative strength index. We want to add another overlay. What happened? This thing has changed since I last let go.
I don't know.
We'll put this on here. Oh shit! I just hit cancel.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Might be
50,
a good idea to do this when you got a little more time.
Yeah,
you know?
that would be smart, but you know, nobody ever.
Bollinger Bands.
That.
Yeah.
Lower indicator. Let's just go RSI because apparently we're restricted on.
How about you say you set it as default?
Yeah, well, it's because I want. This is not what I want as default.
There. Wow. That's there.
Now let's look at the 1 month here. Now this is telling to me.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's a red candle above the band here, the last one today.
And with the relative strength index at 72.75.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just can't look at one thing, because 72 you say, well, it's got room to still go.
Look away.
But, you know, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's
you know what I want?
Chiron's goes halted today. Chiron. Yeah.
So we had...
we know why it was halted? We could call the company. They might be able to tell you now.
No, we didn't know. Let's take a look at KHRN. And then, what the hell's going on here?
I see Sokoman Irons going across at 33, 30, 34. That's a little better. I like that action.
Yeah. KHRN, now let's see if we can get the press releases, news. KHRN announces filing of market short form prospectus for common offering of shares. Ooh.
Well, it's not an that just basically means they're looking for money.
Yeah, well, it means basically they're filing a short form. It means probably they're going to have a done deal with no hold period on the financing. Let's see. Short form prospectus filed under the offering will be conducted through a syndicate of agents on a best efforts led by Canaccord Genuity. No price. Oh, the company's also
including GMP, Sprott, and Cormark.
Yeah, no pricing on this yet. They've just filed a short form prospectus. I guess it'll price it once it's been accepted by the TSX. That would be my guess. All right, so today we had TGOD here. Brian Athaide.
How do you spell that last name?
Athaide.
Athaide.
And he has this to say. Everybody, hello audience, and everybody back there. Welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment, at long last, is the CEO of the Green Organic Dutchman, Brian Athaide. Athaide is CEO of the Green Organic Dutchman. He joins us today. Brian, how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you very much.
We're going to start, for our own credibility's sake, with the elephant in the room, and we've been having a bit of fun of this at your expense, because that's what we do. What caused you to continue to build in Hamilton after the city of Hamilton reversed their permit?
Well, actually, we were working with Hamilton for the past 2 years on getting the zoning done. We have the permits for what we're building right now. So the indoor facility, 20,000 square feet, we have all of the permits. For our larger greenhouse facility, we now have the foundation permit, and we are expecting to get the full permit in the coming weeks.
Okay. So it's just a one of those dust-ups with the locals, is it?
Well, it's about zoning in terms of what you can grow inside. Originally our plan, I mean, the zoning allows for building multiple 20,000 square foot facilities. So we could have built a dozen of them. And when we first went on that property, it was actually the city staff who advised us to let's build a bigger greenhouse instead, which is more efficient, better for production. And so we've been working down that path and now really focusing on getting the zoning done. So it's not about permits, it's about zoning.
Oh, okay. So, fart in the wind, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we're on track for the construction, and we're very confident we'll get the zoning done as well
onward.
in the appeal process.
Your now funded capacity of 170,000 kilograms and building let's call it 1.4 million square feet of cultivation in Ontario, Quebec, and Jamaica.
That's right.
That kind of puts you in the big leagues out of the gate.
Yes, yeah, we're in the top 5 or 6 in terms of funded capacity
great.
and market cap as well.
Well, that's fantastic. So what is the timeline for all of these products to come on stream?
So it varies. Our Canadian production will be coming on stream in the first half of 19. So it doesn't all come in at one time. So I mean, the construction will take that first half to complete. But as we build each grow room, we'll start growing in each room, and our production will ramp up over time. We'll start selling. We'll be expanding who and where we're selling to.
Okay.
And then in Jamaica, we've already opened the first retail store last month. It's going very successfully. We'll have 5 stores open by the end of this year.
Oh, fantastic.
And that's full vertically integrated company, everything from seed through retail sale with consumers.
Cool. Back before you were CEO, there was an announcement about a relationship with a beverage company. That really intrigued me because that is nothing but pure distribution, and that is the holy grail of every LP on the planet. So is that moving forward? What's happening there?
So we're still in discussions with beverage companies.
Okay.
I can't really give you any details until we announce it, but I can tell you for us, we see really the full vertical chain of different products, with beverages being at the top. So starting with, I mean, what's going to be legal in October in the recreational market is dried bud, non-vapor oils, pre-rolls, but after that you're going to get into vapes, you're going to get into pet health kind of products, you're going to have edibles, and we see beverages at the top because it's the easiest consumption format, very familiar to people, right? If you think about beer, wine, spirits, all those kind of products have very similar types of effects, but with cannabis-infused beverages, you don't have any calories, you don't have any risk of hangover, it's better from a health standpoint, once you get to have the right water-soluble kind of technology, you can have faster onset as well versus edibles.
Ooh.
So edibles can have kind of 4 or 5 hours to be able to feel the effect.
Sure.
While the right water-soluble technology, you can feel it in 20 minutes.
Sure.
And it goes away, the offset within a couple hours, all of a sudden it's very similar to a beer.
And do you have that technology?
We're working on it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've actually signed a licensing deal with Stillwater in the U.S., which has that technology. So as we're expanding our products in Canada and other international markets, we actually just announced this morning an acquisition in Poland.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to get to that.
And really, we're going to take those best technologies. In the end, we see this as a consumer products business, right? And what's going to be winning is the brands that have the best products, the best efficacy, the best product form that consumers want to consume or prefer to consume their products in. And so we're investing a lot in R&D. We've talked about that before. And despite it, kind of if we can develop it ourselves or what's available in the market, we want to have the best efficacy type products and technologies and expand that to consumers globally with clean organic product.
Sure. Certainly you've got the partnerships and the bankroll in place to do all that, don't you? Your partnership with Aurora, how much of that is sort of like a partnership of equals versus a major investment with an eye towards eventually acquiring the company?
We couldn't have asked for a better partner. So I mean, they invested with us very early. They have de-risked our business plan quite significantly. So we have a 20% offtake agreement, which can go up to 30% if they increase their ownership. But then on top of that, we've had a lot of learnings from them. So Aurora Larson Projects, which has built their new facility outside the Edmonton Airport, the state-of-the-art facility. There isn't anything that exists like that today globally, taking the best of all different technologies around the world and put it into that first time for cannabis, purpose-built to make cannabis. Now building our facility in Valleyfield, leveraging all those learnings is allowing us to go much faster, much more efficiently.
So is Larson building that one as well?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Very cool.
And then later he'll go and build Aurora Sky and Medicine Hat, each time getting learnings from the previous. And so Aurora's had a couple years at head start versus where we are, but we're learning from that and able to catch up much faster.
Interesting.
And that's across all, from an operating side as well, and then the funding obviously has helped us.
Yeah, it had seemed to me up until Jamaica that this was a Canadian play, and then I thought it was going to be Quebec focused, and now it's with the Polish acquisition, it becomes something completely different again. What is exactly your outlook for a global strategy?
So, I mean, if you look at our mission statement, it's about making life better, right? So it starts with all different products, from CBD products that help people with epilepsy, to appetite for cancer patients, to sleep helping with pain. There's all kinds of ways that we can help make people better. On the recreational side, it already talked about benefits versus beverage alcohol, right? So our goal is focused on organic cannabis, which is very different. There's no other player who has the scale of certified organic that we do. There's only 2 certified organic producers today.
Wow.
There's one in BC and ourselves. We're going to be the only one of scale with anything close to 1 million feet, and that's in Canada alone. But our aspiration is to be the largest organic cannabis brand globally. So now you're seeing the pieces fit together, right? So you've seen our 2 facilities in Canada being built. We've now bought a CBD company in Europe, which has distribution in 13 countries. We're investing even more in that company to be able to expand much faster into more outlets and across more countries. In Jamaica as well, we've opened the first retail store, but we're also looking to export from Jamaica into other countries in Latin America. So right now our focus is on Europe and Latin America. We'll have revenue there before we will in Canada, in fact.
Wow.
So definitely it is a global play focused on organic cannabis. And organic is important. I mean, organic is a brand. If you can think about it, it's a lifestyle.
Oh, you don't have to tell me I buy nothing but organic at my house.
Amazon's investment into Whole Foods, I mean, confirms it, right? So from a product segment standpoint, if you're looking across different products, produce or granola bars, whatever, organic has anywhere from kind of 10 to 25% of the market at a premium. And so for us, that we're not going after everyone. We're going after that 25% of the market potential that is organic and want to dominate that space. We'll let Aurora battle it out for the rest with the others. But we're the only organic player, certified organic player of scale. And even from a premium standpoint, I mean, organic across different product categories has anywhere from a 10 to 50% premium. In cannabis right now, it's about 30%. Which is important because, I mean, as you see all that production coming online, you will see margin compression, price compression. We'll be able to maintain a premium versus that.
Okay, fantastic. So the outlook for revenue, what does that look like in the next 12, 24, 36 months?
So we're not giving guidance on revenue, but I can tell you in the first half of 19, our production will be coming on in both Ancaster and in Valleyfield. Which will allow us to gain a big chunk of that market, of that organic market, and be able to dominate there. We've now announced Hem Poland. We're going to be expanding through all the countries in Europe, as well as in Latin America, with a combination of product from Poland and from Jamaica. And there's a couple other projects, which I can't really talk about yet, in terms of getting into cannabis side in Europe as well. Actually, we've announced a letter of intent with a company in Denmark to develop cannabis in Europe as well, beyond the CBD products.
Sure. Interesting. Okay, to what extent would you say that TGOD strategy is based on the recreational versus the medical?
It's both. It's not either or, so I'd say it starts in medical. And really, as you look, I mean, outside of Canada, there is no country, Uruguay, I mean, that has a recreational legal framework. We're only going to sell where it's federally legal. So in the U.S., it's still not federally legal, even though you've got states that have a legal recreational regime. So that's why we're going in Europe with CBD, which isn't regulated in many countries. Hemp-based CBD is legal pretty much everywhere in Europe. And building on that, so as more medical markets come online, we'll be selling there in the medical market. And then several years after that, the product becomes more socially acceptable, recreational becomes legal, we'll be ready to sell into the recreational markets there as well.
Wow.
So I'd say it starts with medical, but we'll be selling in both. Okay,
fantastic. Brian, we're going to leave it there for now. That was a great introduction to TGOD. Come back often.
For sure.
We love to talk to you a lot. Thanks for joining me.
Appreciate it.
Hey, welcome back. So, what do you think? TGOD, another contender for billion-dollar company. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with TGOD and their big global build-out. Want to take a moment to acknowledge our friends and viewers on YouTube right now. Mr. Lou, 1990, haven't seen you for a while. Where the hell you been? Modern Picasso, nice blazer, Ed. Compliments from Modern Picasso.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Reefer AI Joint says, hey, fellas, how you doing, Reefer? Glor Swore, sup, friends? Sup, yo?
Sup.
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 Mr. Lou, 1990, let's talk more about TGOD. We just talked about TGOD for the last 20 minutes. Can't you get enough, Mr. Lou? What the hell's the matter with you? Jordan Botha, afternoon, gents. Eve is up 16.17% today. They scored a supply agreement with the Ontario government among the 26 selected. You know anything about Eve?
Isn't there All About Eve? Isn't there a movie about?
Well, this is a different story.
Okay, no, I don't.
So
I do not know. Let's put up the chart.
All right, that's a hell of an idea, Ed. Let's go over here to charts. Put up some charts. Let's see what your charts say.
Weed MD is going by down 9 cents. That's had a pretty good lift from where it was.
Oh, what's going on here? I want a big chart in a small space. All right, who are we looking at?
Eve.
Eve. Whoa! Oh, that's a 1 day. Okay. So let's look at a 1 month. I think it just started trading not so long ago. 24 cents.
Okay.
There you go.
3.5 cents on it. Okay, so
there you go.
Yeah, 500, 500,000 shares, a little bit more than that.
Yeah, this is Ravi Sood's deal. This is a company that is basically a play on women's cannabis. Did you know that, Ed?
I like the fact that it's breaking out of this a little bit out here. It's starting to turn that Bollinger Band up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Promising. Back to our audience, Gray Matter. Any thoughts on ecology? Ecology, A-C-O-L-O-G-Y. Ed, what is ecology? Well, you've certainly piqued my interest. I'm going to go look. Let's see, Stockwatch, ecology. Let's see what that word says. Ecology Inc. Patented Medtainer is introduced to the healthcare market to assist patients who have trouble swallowing. Okay, so this is basically a medical device play. And is it anything to do with cannabis? Medtainer to prove how you can store your contents of everyday life. Medtainer makes control far. Okay, well, not really in our wheelhouse. Moving right along. Who else? What else? What else we got here? Garrett Turner. I'm confused too, Neil. Oh, who's confused? Where's confusion? Why is Afria down a bit today? They announced a supply deal with Ontario and it goes down. I'd say the shorts have wrapped themselves around Afria and are
Look at this Kronos going by up $1.17. That's a big move.
Yeah.
Same kind of price point as Afria, and Afria's down. This is up big.
Yeah.
You could have been long Afria,
yep.
or you could have picked the wrong one and you'd be upset.
Yep.
You'd say, Afria, Elmer
Now let's
Health.
go talk to our Facebook friends here because they're no less or more important than our YouTube friends. Can't they all just get along? Anyways, Devin, give you a break, Cameron. Don't know what that's all about. Tony Mills, hello, Rob Armstrong. Great to see you again. Joss Hatinga, Cameron Boyd, smoke break, okay. Ed Legenda, seems a little bit sativa. They're having a conversation without us. Hey, Jason, how's it going? The Wolf of Wall Street has joined us today. I imagine he's... And there's Donnie Greco, Mac Daddy Market Making, Donnie Greco. Donnie, you got to get your ass in the seat
Donnie
here.
called me earlier and said that Chiron was halted, so we
so Donnie told you Chiron was halted.
Yeah, he called me. I was having a salad.
A nice little there.
Just a salad.
Just a salad?
No alcohol.
No alcohol?
No cannabis.
What kind of lunch is that?
Liquid, not a liquid lunch.
That's solid lunch.
Solid lunch.
Boy, oh boy. Well, hello to everybody. Hello to everybody. Let's go back to our favorite indexes, the Midas Letter indexes, because I want to see who's not participating in this general lifting of all boats in the TSE. And there are a few. TerraSen has kind of stopped rising. Ianthus, that's a profit-taking move. That's always loaded with traders. Look at Marican, down 2 cents after a bit of a run. I want to look at their chart. Their chart makes me smile. I think Marican's got some big things. Some big things in its future, Ed. You know why I think that?
Why? You own it?
No, I don't own it, actually. I don't own it.
That's a joke.
I've never owned it. I know. Normally,
why
would we talk about it if we didn't own it?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about owning it. I'm thinking about it.
Right.
Like if you look at this thing, so this is its response right here to the entire.
Right. Well, that's even a week before that. That's 10 days, and really, you know, the big transaction occurred a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know, like is there
Ben's making the right moves. Is all I have to say.
Okay. He is.
So yeah.
Who's that man?
Ben Ward. He's the CEO. He's got deals in Europe. He's a mover and a shaker and a mover and a mover and a groover. Yeah, so that's one I think has a big future. Haiku Brands, did I tell you I was actually at the Haiku Brands Tokyo Smoke Store on Queen Street last week? I bought some coffee.
You want some coffee?
I bought some coffee. Because that's all that the Haiku Brands, I mean, that's all that coffee shops can sell right now, even though they would be categorized as a cannabis coffee shop.
They can sell cannabis coffee?
No, they can't. That's my point. Are you listening? Okay. Are you here?
It must be hard to hear.
I know. You're hearing in opposites. You're having audio dyslexia today. Maybe you should face the other way.
Oh, no, that's better. Now I can see a lot more.
Anyways, let's arrange these stocks by who is sucking hind tit, as it were, and who is actually driving forth. Our old buddies at Planet 13, who were on last week, after a 7-cent rally, have given it all back today, down 8.75%. Vita, let's take a look at the Vita chart. V5 from Vita. Small participation in this. So this is the thing about that transformational sector-wide event, Ed, is it appears to apply only to companies of a certain size.
It seems to. Like it really isn't really reared its ugly head. Not its ugly head, its head.
Yeah. So like if we go to look at the large cap constituents.
Yeah.
Like look at the, there's a few, we have lost a few believers in the large caps. MedMen down 5.62%. Back to 453. Seems to be trading in quite a wide range, that MedMen. Like 386 to 525. Doesn't seem to be able to break out of either one of those ranges to the upside or the downside.
Yeah.
TGOD, despite being on our show, is down 1.33%. Do you think some people see that being on our show as a liquidity event?
Look at Kronos here. Look at Kronos. Up 11%.
Now, I'll bet you, I think Kronos is trading very much on the back of Tilray. Because Tilray, who's not in this index yet, for the simple reason that it became a publicly traded large cap after our last adjustment.
Put up Tilray. Let's TLRY.
TLRY it is.
Yeah, I want to see if it's backed off at all. I mean, this thing is wild.
Yeah, it's acting like a NASDAQ large cap. Whoa! Where'd it go? I guess I need to put the US in there, TLRY, or just click on the right bar.
That's it. That's it. Now you got it.
Now, look at that.
Yeah.
Like, if you took, look at this thing trade. 661.2 million. Here's the 24 bucks a share here. So just in 6 sessions.
Yeah.
This thing.
Unfortunately, I can't see because of the seam here.
Nobody else can see that seam, Ed.
Yeah, well, but why talk to me?
Oh,
then?
I see. You want it up.
I can't. Yeah, there you go. I'd like it up.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions, and this thing is almost doubled. Tested $40+ dollars.
I don't like that today's candle on it, though. I don't.
No?
Big wick. Big wick.
Big what?
Big wick.
Big wick?
Bit of a hammer there, I guess.
Yeah. So that's actually...
It's like a Thor...
Thor thumb?
Thor with his big...
hammer? Ed, this is a G-rated show. Must I remind you? Must I remind you? Let's try to keep this clean.
I can see, said the blind man as he picked up the hammer and saw.
Well, there's an original.
Something you haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah. Look at Aurora trading. Now, this thing has been trading like a monster.
Let me just take a look there. Yeah,
Let's go 5-day look on this, eh? Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, 43 million shares traded so far today.
Wow. That's spectacular volume.
Yeah. 43 million shares. That's a monster. That's a monster. Only up 5.52%. Everything seems to be losing momentum except Canopy.
Canopy's, I don't think it's a great candle. I think tomorrow morning, if they're up, which I think there may be some early momentum, if they're up, I think that might be a good time to take some money off the table and look to re-enter lower.
Yeah?
Well, that's what I would.
You're predicting a technical correction here, Ed?
I'm thinking that
Let's go to 5 days.
The setup looks. Look, the action today on all the big ones, even though they're up. Look at this. Canopy's only up 91 cents now.
1.86%.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, this is interesting. Aurora is tracking at up 5%. Yesterday, Aurora was up 15%, while Canopy was only up 7%.
Yeah. Well, Canopy jumped so much so quickly because of that billion-dollar transaction or multi-billion-dollar transaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's look at Kronos. Let's see what that chart looks like.
Kronos Group. And
I want to, when we're going to then talk to someone about some of the gold stocks, I think.
Okay.
At some point. Look at this. That's a green candle, but it's still. You know, I don't like to see these big moves with nothing happening. There's no resolution there.
Yeah.
Like it basically opened here.
Yep.
Had a big move up, big move down, and then it's trading where it opened. So that's again, I don't like that's not a candle I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if it was at the bottom, I might like it. You know, if you could down here, but it's not. It's up there after a big move. I think we're going to have some consolidation.
Yeah, on the sector-wide or on the
certainly on the ones that have had a move like this. Yeah.
Okay.
And we will see. I mean, I don't really have any positions either way.
No dog in the fight.
No dog in the fight. No dog in the fight. I like
no
that.
Horse in the race. No fish in the sea.
No dog in the fight.
All right, Aphria. What's going on with Aphria? Aphria seems to have lost its.
Let's look at that chart. Let's look at that one.
All right. What duration? What time frame?
I want to see 6 months.
6 months. Okay. Let's go full screen. Oh, that's right. We're on this.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. A lot of the same type of candle, you know.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Here's our full screen window. APH. Suniva sold off. Okay, looking at APH, 6 months, full screen. Like, this thing's volatile. Look at it. Like, even within the context of the big announcement, the
8 to 12,
the event that lifted all boats.
8 to 12, so almost 50%, but not a good day today.
No, but or profit taking. Traders taking profit. Don't you think?
Yeah.
20 million shares.
Well, look, you had big volume in here, right? You had a big volume day. I think you just pointed to that. Look at it. So all these guys here can easily get out here, you know, and probably buy food and clothing for their children.
Food and clothing for their children. Pretty sure their kids ain't missing any meals, and pretty sure there ain't no holes in those jeans.
Well, except they bought them that way.
Unless they're like in their teenage years and they got to have rips and fake
can you
wrinkles
imagine? What would you charge me to rip up my jeans?
I don't know.
Jeans?
How much would you like me to charge? Yeah. Okay, so there's Aphria. Aphria's looking a little sell-off today. I'm trying to find where's the opportunity here. Where's the trading opportunity in these stocks, Ed?
I think.
Let's go back to all the indexes.
If you didn't buy them 3 days ago, 4 days ago, like you've had a big run here, you know,
okay,
40,
so let's
50,
say,
60%.
Let's say I mortgaged my house and I put it all into Canopy. Canopy's on a tear. I don't want to take it off the table.
Well, I think why wouldn't you take it off the table?
Because it's still running.
It's up 90 cents. The candle looks like.
Well, it's up $20 in the last.
Yeah.
But
what are you waiting for?
Because I'm greedy. And everybody's greedy.
Not everybody.
No? Who's not?
Well,
give it all back. No, I'm not saying people are not it's not so much greedy as they're afraid of leaving money on the table if they sell too soon.
You know, some smart people have said that the money you leave on the table bothers you more than the money you lose.
Really?
Well, there might be some truth to that psychologically. Like you say, only if I would have waited.
If only.
Like, for instance, you could have sold ACB yesterday thinking that was it. Today, you don't want to sell it because it kept going, but maybe you should have waited yesterday and then sold it today.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah. New strike is up the most among the small caps.
Yeah.
Up 16%.
Wasn't that up to $3 at one point?
It's come down from 3.5, yeah, over here. January 9, it was at, sorry,
well,
that's
like
the index.
These are not, like, look, you got THC, you got this, you got that.
So THC back in January was at 305, touched an all-time high of 330. Yeah, I think something's brewing in the background there for those guys. So we should give Jay a call, Jay Wilgar. Do you think?
Sure.
Jay, if you're listening, what's going on? Give us a ring. Tell us what's happening. Anyways,
okay.
What do I keep going back to that? I don't want that. What else is happening? Let's talk a bit about our mining stuff. So let's look at the old GLDN. I'm actually gonna go to the technical gear for this.
Now I understand that, and we probably have said this, but there's the cores that are going to be released, the assays that are going to be released. The cores there's pictures of the cores on the website.
There's pictures of the core on the website
from the next two holes, I believe, and you can compare them to the hole that was just released.
Golden Ridge has. Really?
Yeah. And it's the same mineral. It's bornite.
Yeah.
B-O-R-N-I-T-E. No O between the R and the N.
Hank,
and it's the best. It's the best host rock for copper, apparently. Just saying.
Where is the pictures? View. Hank. We're talking about the Hank.
Yeah.
There's Hank. We have a feedback loop going here.
Yeah.
Where did you see pictures, Ed? Investors
I did
Gallery.
not.
Here we go. Hank photos.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. 1801 core photos. That's the one that was announced.
Yes.
Let's look at 1802, which has not been announced. Whoa! These are like for real core photos.
Yeah, they're in boxes, right? And they're...
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so what are we looking at here, Ed?
I don't...
Where's your geological hat?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, it looks like some rock.
You know what? I think we should. You should ask me these questions when I find my hat.
Yeah.
And my hat is on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have a hat on.
Right.
I can look at this, so but they obviously mean something to that. That's why.
Here's the. Oh. No, I don't know enough about geology to start trying to tell you what I see going on here. We need a geologist in the house. Would anybody like to come on the show and interpret this core at least from a superficial level? I guess we've got drill results coming out on the Hank here pretty quick.
Yeah. Next.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
We may see results by next week or the end of next week, sometime like that.
I wonder how close in we can get on this core. But some good-looking core there, Ed.
Yeah.
Not a big geologist. All right, Hank Krasenberg is here from Netherlands. Hello, Hank. Good to see you back. Fiona Fitzmaurice is here. Do you know Fiona?
I know Fiona.
She's quite the girl. Brian Stetler's here. Carlin Moser. Peter Cunningham, all the way from the UK. Hello, Peter. Just saying hello.
Hi, Peter.
Now, what else we got here going on? What is happening today? Let's see. I wanted to talk a bit about... you know what we had to do here? Oh, the Golden Ridge.
Yeah, let's look at Golden.
So Golden's...
Aben, I guess
Golden still
Jordan
has...
Trimble's going to be here Thursday morning.
Yep, Jordan and his pappy.
Look at this.
Pappy going to be here.
His dad?
Yep.
Bill Trimble.
Jim Trimble.
Bill.
Bill Trimble, right. Sorry.
You're thinking of Jim Pettit.
Jim Pettit, yes.
Yeah, I've known Jim forever.
Okay, so this is looking good. Let's look at the ABN ahead of their visit. Full disclosure, I'm a shareholder in this company. 42. It's looking good.
Yeah, that actually...
Fresh results coming out on this at some point, I'll bet you before Thursday when they get here.
Really?
Yeah. What did they be coming to Toronto for?
Donnie's pretty excited about this one.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our old sick here, which has been looking a little bit sick, but not too bad.
And what time frame you got there?
That's 1 month. 1 month.
So. Oh, okay. So the candle, yeah, we got down. Now we're back up a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 1 month charts for these gold plays are relevant because there wasn't any action a month ago.
Right.
So really,
let's take a look at Mr. Obradovich's SAE. This is the Sable Resources. That's sold off a little bit in the last couple days.
Not a lot. Not a lot. Hanging in the high 20s.
No.
What about the one that we had yesterday, TIG?
No. No, we'll talk about that one once we've got a chance to buy it. It took off when we started talking about it, so I don't want to talk about it anymore, lest it take off again, and then how are we going to own it? How are we ever going to own that stock? It keeps running on us, Ed.
Well, but how do we know it's running if it's not running? If we can't?
No, it is.
Is it running still today?
Yeah. Well, it's just it ran up.
And is there a major gold mine owning a big chunk of TIG already?
So now we're going to talk about...
okay, move right along.
High Hampton. Right, let's see how High Hampton's doing.
Okay, High Hampton.
Oops, wait, I'm in the wrong zone here. What happened?
Look at Emerald Health just popped up here, another dime.
Who did?
Emerald Health, EMH.
HC.
HC.
Oh, HC, we have to put in the C and X bit. So, chugging along, 54, 59. No, sorry. 54 cents, 133,000 shares. It's respectable.
Chugging along.
Chugging along. Now let's look at KHRN again. What was the news there? That they filed a prospectus.
Yeah, they're going to look for some...
Oh, that's right. It's not CNX, it's TSXV. All right. It's
halted. Is it halted or no?
Doesn't say so. No, I think it's no longer halted.
Can I look at? Okay, trade lasted $1. Did they announce what the price was going to be of the funding?
No, they haven't. They're just going to file it, and they'll probably announce it after it's been accepted for filing. Charts advanced here. Weed, no. What am I looking for here? I wanted to look at the Canex again. This is another one of those sleepers that I think is lurking. Waiting to, CNX I have to put in there. Canex Capital Holdings. Look at that. Is it still on a downward trajectory, Ed?
It seems to be flattening out.
Okay.
Which could be good or bad. If it flattens out and stays flat, it's hard to get excited.
Yeah.
But it also could be getting ready for a bounce too, right?
Right. Let's take a look.
Wow, look at that. What was that? That was weed.
Yeah, that was
that
weed
again. Chart, boy, I'll tell you.
Whew. Yeah. All right. So we had Russell Stanley here from Echelon. You know Russell Stanley? From Echelon?
He's here now?
He's here right now. We're going to talk to him.
Are you going to talk to him or are we going to talk to him?
Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment is Russell Stanley. He's the equity analyst with Echelon Wealth Partners. Russell, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Russell, the main flavor of the day in our universe is cannabis, 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 cannabis. What have you got to say for yourself about cannabis?
I could say a lot.
I bet.
Every day is a new adventure. As I've said to a number of people, there's no Groundhog Days in cannabis. Every day is something new. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's start with the elephant that still persists in the room is the $5 billion I call it a takeover. People like to correct me, but with 4 seats out of 7 on the board, it's a takeover in my book, especially with the 50% that they're going to end up owning. Constellation, I mean, in reference to Canopy Growth, if they were to exercise their full warrant. The whole sector has been taken higher by this event, and so is it safe to categorize this as essentially a mainstreaming of the cannabis industry globally?
I think it is. I think what we saw as what started as a product development joint venture, if you will, back last October, has become, with Constellation's investment, a recognition that this is a global business. And the opportunity goes beyond just one product and goes beyond just Canada or the United States. This has become a global platform for Constellation to expand into a new consumer market altogether. And I'd agree that it is a de facto acquisition or takeover of Canopy, given the board control and what their fully diluted share position looks like.
Okay, so what are the implications for, let's say, cannabis players 2, 3, and 4 in the context of this takeover?
Well, I think that other companies, similar parallels to Constellation, as well as companies in other markets like pharma and potentially tobacco and other consumer products companies, all of them are now going to have to, explain to their boards why they haven't gotten involved in cannabis yet. So it's a significant transaction. It validates the cannabis opportunity. I think in combination with the recent agreement between Molson and Hydropothecary, it confirms that the big beverage players have an interest in cannabis, and those without a dance partner are going to have to find one soon.
I mean, number 2 in terms of market cap is Aurora, and so I think this transaction has caused the market to look askance at Aurora and say, well, where's your $5 billion dance partner? Do you think that Aurora is, sort of the logical next candidate for such a major sort of tie-up?
I think on size, there are several candidates. Aurora could be one. Certainly, with their last 2 acquisitions, with Canamed and MedRelief having been acquired, they've certainly augmented their production asset base and really established themselves as a national player. And so they would be a very strong candidate. We also like CanTrust, Hydropothecary, and Organigram as potential candidates as well, all because they have large-scale, fully financed production platforms and sales agreements now into multiple provinces.
Wow, you just named all of my favorite companies there. Well, a good handful of them anyways. So let's talk a bit about some of the American opportunities. I'm curious as to what your perspective is, because I find there's a lot of, differentiating among analysts, among institutional players about, what are the risks, what are the opportunities. So, we've seen that the opportunity to fund U.S. cannabis operations in states where it's legal has remained, for the most part, a Canadian opportunity. Now, we've also seen the U.S., for example, ban for life an investor of good reputation, and so that gives a lot of people pause to say, well, wait a sec, do I really want to be investing in a U.S. company if I have interests and or cause to travel to the United States frequently? So do you think that the opportunity is still Canadian, or do you think that the U.S. is moving quickly enough towards deprohibition federally that it's becoming more a U.S. opportunity?
I'd go with the latter. I think we're seeing a de-risking of the environment there in the U.S. with the introduction of the States Act in particular, and other initiatives underfoot, like the UN going with a review of cannabis and its components, and whether or not they're properly categorized as controlled substances. These are all things that I think point to the U.S. federal state disconnect being cleaned up sooner than perhaps people expect. I think Bruce Linton of Canopy alluded to that potentially coming sooner than people anticipate during the most recent conference call. So I definitely think the U.S. Federal environment as the risk there has come down significantly since the Sessions memo back in January, which I think you'd say has potentially backfired altogether by lighting a fire under the legalization movement and removing what cover there was and forcing people to move faster rather than simply rest on their laurels and believing they were safe when they weren't. So we've seen the risk level come down. We've certainly seen a number of U.S. operating companies come to market, and we think there will be more. And obviously, the U.S. is potentially a much larger market than Canada's already in terms of absolute sales, but with more states legalizing medical and potentially recreational as well, the opportunity is huge.
So are there any names that you could talk about that Echelon Wealth Partners is following in the U.S.?
So we recently picked up coverage of Green Thumb Industries, ticker's GTII. Their current core market is in Illinois. That's where their home is, but they now have interests in 8 states. They're working to close acquisitions that would put them in New York and Florida, which are huge markets. They focus on states where they think they see high entry barriers, so where competition should be limited, usually because those states will issue a finite number of licenses to cannabis companies. We have a $20 target. I think the stock's trading around 10, so we think it's a double from here.
Wow, that's a pretty substantial commitment to the whole U.S. market. That's great. The reason that most of the U.S. listed companies are forced to list on the TSE is the only exchange really available to them at this point, is because of the federal deprohibition, et cetera. But we've seen, for example, Tilray has gone and launched an IPO successfully on NASDAQ, which, you know, not the NASDAQ junior market, the NASDAQ senior board. So that sort of also kind of puts me, at least, in the sort of frame of mind where I'm like, well, how can you list a cannabis company on the NASDAQ that's, you know, legal outside of the United States while, you know, you've yet to reconcile the federal and state level laws, especially in view of the fact that the federal laws themselves are in conflict, the DEA versus the Controlled Substances Act, since the FDA licensed that epilepsy drug from GW Pharma. So, I mean, for me, that's the tough part about actually moving decisively into the United States. There's still too many contradictory sort of touch points, flashpoints in the whole matrix that, you know, I don't want to get stopped at the border and say you can't come in. So, but for the most part, investors are being left alone. It's not the investors that the Border Patrol is necessarily after. Is that right? I don't think the average public market investor is really there. And if you consider it this way, there are a couple of Canadian cannabis companies that are now part of the TSX composite. If that is, you know, if you own an ETF, then you indirectly own these companies. I mean, we're all essentially de facto investors in cannabis at this point. So, so I don't think that concerns around the border. Everyone has to manage their own border affairs appropriately. Sure. But definitely think the opportunity is huge in the U.S. We obviously see some pretty high valuation multiples in Canada, and for the most part, some of them are warranted because of the growth opportunity here. But the multiples that are available to investors in the U.S., I think, are too low compared to Canadian multiples, too low to be ignored. And people are starting to take a look at U.S. operating names in recognition of that. So would you agree with the concept that upon federal deprohibition in the United States, there's going to be a stampede out of Canadian equities in the cannabis space into U.S. ones? I think there's a possibility of a rotation that takes place, and maybe it doesn't have to wait until it's formally recognized at the U.S. federal level. If people expect it to happen, then equity markets are probably going to discount it in advance. But right now, Canadian names get twice the multiple the U.S. operating names do, and that's perhaps a discount today is warranted because of its federal status, but a 50% discount seems excessive. So I think that people who've got their eye on valuation, I think cannabis investors in general are starting to pay a bit more attention to valuation. Where they see that, people are going to start to take advantage. You bet. Russell, let's leave it there. That was a great first conversation for us. Great. I hope to have many more. Thanks for joining me today. Thank you for having me.
Good idea to take some money off the table in the sector to get back in.
You're missing what he's saying, really. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. Our friend Special Ed is saying that we should be taking money off the table.
I think the odds are that we probably are going to have a 10, 15, 20% correction. Maybe not 20, but certainly if you're a trader and you've enjoyed this run, maybe take some money off the table, look to come back in.
I did.
Friday. There you go.
I did.
And you were
Reefer Al Joint says, my wife says I should listen to Ed. There you go.
Really?
How's that for an endorsement?
Well, we always like to hear from the ladies.
Yeah, there you go. Freedom Unleashed said something that was message retracted. Oh, I wonder what that was. Did he curse our name in vain?
Well, I hope not. I don't want to offend anyone.
Chris West, who I'm not related to as far as I know, says that we should have an MMPR grower from the old system on to talk about micro licensing. Would be very popular. And I think you mean the MMAR system. Just saying, Chris, because the MMPR system didn't actually really didn't last that long. Didn't only last a year before the constitutional challenge took it down and they had to roll out the ACMPR. Let's see. HIP finally breaking out. Yes, HIP is finally breaking out. We don't know why. We're going to call Jay Wilgar and say, Jay.
HIP. Is that the Tragically Hip company?
That's the one company that has the relationship with the Tragically Hip.
And where is it now? I mean, it came down from what, 330, and it's now what?
Well,
50
cents? You should ask, Ed. I just happen to have
we just saw a chart a minute ago.
Yeah. I just happen to have a chart right here. We'll just wipe out the old CanX, and we'll put HIP in there. New Strike Brands, there it is. So yeah, what do we got here?
Oh yeah. Wow.
Up quite a bit today.
Look at this, 40 to 67.
59, opened at 59, touched a high of 68, backed off to 57, and now
that's a good looking chart. That actually looks higher.
Yeah, it does. We should give him a call. This looks like a trading opportunity to me.
You know, and it probably is very liquid.
I got a little dry powder.
Really?
I got a little dry powder, yeah. Let's look at level 2s here.
Oh yeah, look at the volumes here.
Oh, wait, this is not, I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. I haven't quite figured out exactly what all the little tabs actually do because, let's see, I want to look at the market depth here, but I want to look at
depth
as a histogram. Because look at that. There's a steep wall of buyers here at 60, 55 to 60. Like a lot. There's some knowledge in here.
Yeah,
don't you think? There's people there who know more than we do.
So is this is the accumulated bids?
Yeah.
And so the higher you go up the price,
the more there
the more there is. But yeah. So certainly a lot on the bid. Like this is, you know, I bet you this thing has had a monster short position.
Oh yeah.
And now the shorts are saying, I want to cover. And that's helping the longs. The longs are getting a nice ride.
So 67 is where it's trading. What do you think? Let's go look at the news on this and see if
well, it's up 27 cents on 40. It's up 60, 70% already. I mean,
2 news releases. Cannabis named official supplier to the Ontario Cannabis Store. Okay. Oh, that's the partner of. So it's trading on the announcement that Ontario Cannabis Store has now signed agreements with 26 LPs. HIP is obviously one of them.
Or 26?
26. So there we go. HIP is one of them.
Okay.
Up Cannabis is a subsidiary of HIP. There we go.
Up Cannabis.
Yeah.
That's like the up shuttle to the airport.
The Union Pearson Express?
Union Pearson Cannabis.
That's the
official.
OOP. The OOP. The oops.
What rhymes with oop?
Oh boy, I tell you. I tell you.
All right, let's not
keep
go
it clean.
There.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. So what else have you seen out there that in the mining world have you seen that you like?
Well, you know what? I mean, I am.
Let's take a look at the most active.
You know, one thing that I'm a big shareholder in Crown, which is doing nothing right now, but it has a resource, and it has a lot of bornite on their property.
CWM.
Yeah, and I'm talking to the CEO. I'm thinking, he thinks, like, he had a very, very wealthy man on the property a few months ago. I'm not going to say who it is. This guy has founded some of the biggest mines in the world.
That was yesterday?
No, that was in the last few months. He was spent a week on the property with Steve.
Okay.
Anyway, he said there's a couple things that came to mind. Back in the day when this was discovered, they never tested the oxide. That's the weathered rock that sits on top of the sulfide.
Right.
So all the drilling, they threw out the oxide because they didn't know what to do with it back then. They didn't have the technology.
It's too complicated to process.
Whatever. So now they're saying, you know, you should because the oxide's on surface close to where the oxygen is, drill the oxide. And you could probably do a drill campaign on this thing, which has already got 2 to 4 billion pounds of copper. It's already got it.
Yep.
And it's capped at a fraction of say, Golden or whatever these other companies. Anyway, so you know where I'm going with this. I'm saying, well, maybe they should drill the crown and drill that oxide. It's 50 feet to 100 feet. There'll be shallow holes. You could probably drill a lot of holes. And then the other suggestion is maybe drill 1 or 2 deep holes, because a lot of the holes ended in bornite, which is copper hosting. Maybe it just keeps getting bigger as you go lower. It could be a monster deposit. And that's what the fellow who Vishal Gupta, who's the president of California Gold Mines, suggested that in these types of deposits, that's the case. They get bigger, higher concentration of copper at depth.
Yeah. Well, you could certainly buy enough.
Well,
at
anyway,
cheap enough
well, look,
price.
you know what?
Let's see what the market depth is on this thing.
Put that heat map up. Oh, you did?
The histogram.
It's just no map. Look at this.
Yeah. Lots of sellers, not a lot of buyers.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean the buyers are? Yeah, there's a lot of shares bid, but at cheaper prices, right? Yeah. Well,
there's not a lot of shares bid. That's the thing. So if you look at the table,
yeah,
this is what I mean.
Anyway, I've got a.
So look, you got 25,000 bid here
yeah.
at 9.5, 5,000 at 9. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
And on the offers, let's see.
Well, there's 500 shares for sale at $10. You want to reach?
Yeah, if you want to reach.
But you know, we have to remind the viewers that historically these things have never been cheaper to everything else, and maybe they're going to stay that way. But certainly, if you're going to try and find a big score, try and find it in an area that seems to be historically cheap. Mm-hmm. Like we're at 100-year lows in a lot of respects in this sector. Anyway, yeah. I don't want to come across as I'm a large shareholder of Crown, and I'm trying to help some people that are also shareholders to try and unlock the value that's there.
Yeah,
the value's there, but it's locked up.
Let's see what the
okay
TSX venture companies. I want to see among these
the most actives.
The ones that performed the best in the what the hell's the hold up here? Great, site's not loading. Come on, baby. Okay, why is that not happening? That's embarrassing. Let's go back and let's look at the small caps. CSE, let's see what's happening on the CSE. Uh-oh, we have an issue. Nothing is loading.
Houston, we have a problem.
We have a problem. Okay, so much for that. Oh, you know what it is? It's because the market is just closed.
Okay.
And so the system is updating itself. That is the problem. So, what else we got here? News. All right. So, did you see the news that Canopy Growth had
up $4?
Yeah,
that's
Canopy Growth had over 100 products accepted.
I saw that. I actually did see that. You know, I'm starting to. This show's made me start to pay more attention to some of these news releases, NRs as they call them in the game.
NRs, yes.
Any other NRs catch your interest?
There was two. One was actually Aurora's, and one was Canopy's.
And you can buy rolled joints.
I've heard that. Not here well, you can if you're a medical patient right now, but you can't in the recreational scheme of things yet, or can you? In October 17th, can you buy pre-rolls, TMs, tailor-mades? I'm not sure if that's the case.
I don't know.
Nothing is loading coming from Quote Media here. Well, that's a disappointment.
Look at this. We got 88 Cap Corp, which is now Golden Ridge, leading Aben by a half a penny.
Yeah, let's go to the
But
dashboard.
they're tied in tide. Or
look at all the news generally. Okay, that's no good. Let's look at the most actives here again and see what we can glean in the way of opportunities from that.
Let's see movers. Okay, market movers. I like that.
News Strike, 8 million shares, up 21.8%.
Wow, that knocked out...
on the Ontario Cannabis Stores announcement.
Yeah.
Aben Resources, second most liquid.
Hit Technologies.
So that's interesting. Aben closes its $4 million financing and then promptly puts on 11%.
Yeah. Do you know any of the big placees in that funding?
Well, besides Midas Letter? No, just kidding. Eric's brought half of it.
Do I own it? Just out of curiosity, and you don't have to answer. Do I own any of the Midas Letter?
Do you own any of the Midas Letter?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
So then I didn't put any money in the funding.
No, technically no.
No,
at this point the
you saving that little.
Well, we're going to carve it up. We got to carve it up.
My birthday's coming up.
It has.
It could be a good birthday present.
There you go. Here, have 10% of a major tax liability.
We got a special show planned for my birthday.
When's that again?
I'm not saying.
Come on. How am I going to know what to get you?
It's September.
It's September. You're a Libra.
Yes.
That's why we get along so well. Libras and Sagittarians are always friends, I'm told.
Really?
That's what I hear.
Really?
That's what I'm told.
Wow.
I know.
I should pay more attention to
We should go see a fortune teller.
Astrology, not astronomy, astrology.
Astrology. If you look at the most actives, there's only a couple of stocks in here that we aren't actively following.
Well, let's take a look here.
Look, there's Sokoman, 2.2 million shares, up slightly, up a penny. New Strike warrants are even trading well. Up 18.75%.
I like. You know what? I think this is a good exercise. Now let's maybe pull one out here that we don't follow, and then look at it and see if we can't.
Make fun of it.
No, but
see if we can get it up.
New Strike, Aben.
Yeah.
Hit 2.5 cents. We don't care. I don't think we'd care. Iguana Technologies, EGT. I don't know what the hell that is. That traded 3.5. Let's put up that. See if there's any.
Oh, it's funny you should mention that. I've been in this stock for, in and out of this stock for many, many years. Well, 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You know what they do? They make controller systems for storage batteries.
Is that like an Internet of Things company? Would you say no?
No, they make control systems and software for battery storage systems for like windmills and solar panels, and in Germany, because there's such a huge differentiation in the cost of electricity during the day versus at night, people are installing batteries and doing their, and loading the battery at night when the electricity is low, and then using the power during the day when the price from the grid is high. So these guys make that. They have a partnership with LG Chem, and they are starting to sell a lot of these systems.
Okay, so let's just put up the chart just out of curiosity. I want to see if is there a trade here, because is that unusual volume for that stock? That seems like,
it is somewhat unusual.
That's Canopy Growth. That's not what we're looking for.
But if we go for the 6 month here,
6 month would be.
So this thing has
RSI is sort of flatlining, that I can see. No, I don't see anything. Well, it had a pop. I bet you there's a lot of shares outstanding. I bet you there's. Well,
we could go look. How about that? Let's go look at EGT. Now the reason I've never. Oh, okay. Wait a sec. This site's still not acting properly. Let's go look on StockWatch. What the hell? We don't mind using StockWatch once in a while. So fundamentally, outstanding 220 million shares.
Okay, 44 million market cap. So if they're not making money, they got a 40 million market cap, but maybe they're going to start making money.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long have you known about this one, James?
Since, since the founding CEO was replaced. Well, they didn't exactly. He didn't leave of his own volition. Put it that way.
It's a tough. You
dog
see
eat dog world.
You see a lot of moving around at management level, if with these smaller companies, because they require money, and people buy it, and people get impatient, and like Mark Godsey, our friend over at Exro, he was a major shareholder before he became the CEO
of
Exro.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. That's how I think there was like a case maybe where
there's one we haven't talked about today.
I know, and it's quiet.
And why is it quiet? Have you had any conversation with the CR?
I just got off the phone with him.
Really?
And I said I had a couple guys that wanted to talk to him, and I want to just make sure that doesn't fall off the table.
So now this company is going to be a news-driven story at some point.
Well, unless we decide to mop this thing up to $1, mop it. Like that might be something like
I'd be inclined to start mopping up if I knew that there was a big catalyst on the horizon.
Well, there you go.
I did some mopping up.
I know. Look at.
I did some mopping up, and I also ate a lot of stuff.
Do you know? There's a guy that I used to work with. I found out he's a shareholder, and he's been banging the table on this. So I'm going to. I want to see a step, and I understand there's.
When is Mark coming to Toronto?
September.
Okay. That's not so far away.
No.
And then we'll have him on the show.
We'll have him on the show, but in the meantime, I would encourage you to call him and say, hey, how's it going? Maybe because.
Well, the only problem with that is because I do all my conversations with public company CEOs on the camera. So if I call him up and say, hey, how's it going? Then I'm going to have the same conversation with him again on camera.
You know what?
I try to keep it fresh by not talking.
You're obviously a professional, and you know little tricks of the trade that I don't know.
Well,
being new to the media circus,
it keeps the story fresh. If I don't,
you don't want to know. You don't want to.
I don't want to know everything. Don't show the elephant. You don't want to see the elephant.
What about the elephant's ass?
Well, if you're showing the whole elephant, that's part of it. Let's hope. You know what that expression means?
Something about.
It's an old Chinese expression from Sun Tzu. Don't show the elephant, meaning.
Yeah, you don't want.
You don't want the enemy to know all you got.
Yeah.
So you don't show. It's actually the term is don't show the whole elephant. So you remember that strategy.
No, the whole elephant or the elephant's whole.
Boy, I'm trying to keep this show on the white, bright, and clean side, and here you are dragging us down to whole new levels.
You're wearing white, I'm wearing a darker tone. There you go. There's the angel, and here's the horned viper from the garden.
Who is calling to us from the dark side.
Okay.
All right, let's go talk to our Facebook peeps here because, the YouTube people are just having a conversation amongst themselves and they don't really have any conversation for us. So
right.
Let's go see if the Facebook people
Everybody's
want
not,
to talk
you
to
know
us.
what, maybe Peter Cunningham told me that usually people watch you more carefully when things are dropping. And now we've had the marijuana space moving along. Everybody's
They're like, who cares what these buttheads have to say? The market's moving. Shut those guys up. Okay, so, smaller audience. We got 70 over on YouTube and 17 on Facebook. So the Facebook audience comes and goes. Let's see. Andrew Kittle is here. Hello, Andrew. ACB getting a bid right now. Boy, that's an understatement. Everything running hot. Everything is running hot. Whoa. Yeah, nope, they're just having a conversation over there amongst themselves too. We're just background noise for these guys.
Well,
at least
maybe we should get them on this. Maybe they should invite us onto their show.
Well, not everybody has a show.
Well, these guys do.
Some people don't want a show.
Okay.
Well, we should invite them on the show. Well, Jason's got to come back on the show. But we just won't ask him about MedMen because we know what he'll say about MedMen.
So what's the date today? Today's the 21st. It's hard to believe that Labor Day is well within our reach here.
Yeah,
like
summer's coming to an end.
Isn't that wild? It's kind of sad, isn't it?
I turned off the air conditioning in my house yesterday. Oh, well.
Yeah. Well,
in some respects, yes.
No, but I understand you got some natural air conditioning because there's a hole in your roof or something.
Well, there's a hole and it's widening up, and yeah, we're getting a new roof put on now.
Really?
We have to, otherwise I'm going to have to get a bed that floats.
Well, get a water bed.
Well, that's not a bed that floats. That's a bed full of water. You know,
Okay.
what have you ever slept in a water bed? A little bit jiggly. Jiggly.
Well,
you know, especially if you're having some like extracurricular activities in there. Not necessarily.
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? You don't remember? Beds is where people go to have sex. And so, do you want the jiggly?
I'm actually blushing. That's,
You're like, oh yeah,
Holy.
sex in a bed. Ah, that's right.
I don't even know how to react.
Come on, Ed. Now we're right up in your wheelhouse. The wheelhouse of smut and iniquity. Come on. Where's your comeback?
Where? You know what?
Where's your
Some
yaya?
things I don't want to give life by adding to it.
Oh, well, boy. Okay.
Okay. I jest. I don't know what to say. Look at this. Tilray is over $40.
That's close. $40 for Tilray.
I say it's down tomorrow.
So you think Tilray's down tomorrow? Why do you think Tilray would
Just
be down?
technically, I think it's down. But
Let's take another. I'm going to pull up that Tilray chart again, just because I want to see. I want to see what a stock
now
that's going to go down looks like.
Yeah, it's only been down. It's only been out what, for a month now?
Not even.
Let's
Has it
put
even
up.
been a month?
Let's put up.
No, it's been like, okay, let's see it.
Yeah, it's been. I think it's up.
Okay,
for
it's
a
been a
month.
month. Now, $40.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to keep going? And you're saying that it's going to correct. So I'm going to pull this.
I think
in here, and look at the Bollinger Bands.
Yeah, it's right through the upper band,
Yeah.
right through. Put up a what do you got? 1 day? No, I don't want a 1 day. I want a
5 day. I think I got a 5 day up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
put up
7
a 10 day. Can you put up a 10 day?
I
Yeah,
can-
10 day.
I can do anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
Yeah, no, put up a
Wait a sec.
1 month. 1 month.
Oh, hold on here.
That's not. That doesn't show what I want it to show.
Okay. So you want a 1 month chart, but it's only traded for a month.
Yeah, that.
So the RSI is 77, heading towards 80.
That's 75. It starts to get oversold. 80 is very oversold. 85 and so on and so forth.
Let's see. What was the news on Tilray today that would justify such a move?
Oh, there's some,
Tilray stock surges after supply agreement with Ontario Cannabis Store.
Yeah.
Now, okay, this stock puts on, wow,
10%.
a hell of a lot more money.
Then but other companies have made that same announcement.
So all the moves today in the large cap cannabis space, do you think are all about the Ontario allotments? You know, this is funny to me because at the end of the day,
and short covering.
If you're selling alcohol to the Ontario government, you're getting squeezed by your little rubber nuggets.
Your nuggets.
You're squeezing them.
I think a nugget, that would be a good.
They're squeezing them.
Instead of saying testicles, you say nuggets.
Well, you know, I'm trying to keep the show.
I think the medical profession
G-rated.
should change the name of testicle formally to nugget. How are your nuggets?
Then McDonald's will sue.
And then you could put instead of
McDonald's will be upset.
And you know what you could do? You could take the first two letter.
What about McDonald's?
Two letters.
Who's
of
going
nugget.
to order nuggets?
You could shorten nugget by dropping out all the letters. Just keep the N, U, and the T, and you got.
You're cracking yourself up there.
I thought that's pretty funny.
Well, then you're going to get sued by all the nut growers down in South America.
Okay.
No, what about what about the? So this is the thing. If this thing's going to break down on the technical side,
I'm looking for a pullback. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we've gone from basically low 20s to 40. Okay. Yeah, and look at this. You could have bought this thing here. But you pointed out, aren't there some very big, wealthy shareholders in this thing?
yeah. Well, so like the
So they
the
play
shareholder that owns over 50% is Privateer Holdings, private equity group funded in part by Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal.
PayPal, a lot of P's.
And a lot of his buddies from down in Silicon Valley are in there.
Yeah.
So these guys are not...
RSI 77.44.
Yeah. These guys are not of shallow pocket, shall we say. So, you know, Tilray, and the Tilray thing is just like, with that kind of shareholding, I mean, this has got a completely different audience than even Canopy. And certainly a different audience than 95% of the other LPs listed in Canada. So, you know, if I looked at this is Tilray is the U.S. Canopy.
Yes.
And it's from...
But it's not. It's nowhere near the size of
Canopy.
Canopy in terms of market
cap. But Tilray is also the tech sector's Canopy, whereas Canopy is the cannabis sector's Canopy, and there's no big tech investors. I mean, we don't know that now, but it's been taken to this level by its by the cannabis sector itself. So
yeah, that's a hell of a run. Now, you know, it'll be interesting to say. I say when you get the entire move of the day well above the Bollinger Band, that's a reasonably rare event. I think we'll have somewhat of a modest pullback here. I think we'll see. I think it wouldn't be on. You know, I think there's a good chance we'll see $35, 10% correction in the near. You know, starting tomorrow.
So Tilray.
But I'm not. You know, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Tilray now has a market cap of $3.3 billion, just under $3.3 billion.
That's almost doubled in what? 10 days.
Now
10 days. 1, 2, 3.
The interesting thing is, I want to
15 days.
I'm going to go look at Edgar, and I want to see if they've got any financings filed since their IPO. I doubt they will have. Oops, Edgar. Edgar.com. Oh no, sorry, those days are gone. It's sec.gov again. Right, company filings. Let's go see what we got here. Tilray.
I always find these websites a little bit arcane or mysterious.
Mysterious.
Like
oh, you find the SEC a little arcane. Well, it's a different schema for sure. So you're looking at a different mine for sure. So these are interesting in the 8Ks. So this is what somebody has to file if they buy a position in the stock that's worth. Or a material change has to be announced through an 8K. Amended and restated bylaws. Class 2 common stock is described as the company's board of directors previously approved the restated certificate. Okay, this is pertinent to the employees who have Reg S stock. Not us. We do not have Reg S stock in Tilray. Though I would like some, wouldn't you? Okay, so yeah. They have not filed anything on Tilray since going public, just after going public, July, which is interesting. So really, you know, we're looking at this valuation on Tilray, and it is, you know, I think I can't remember what their quarter was in the prospectus. Let's go have a quick look at the prospectus here. And if we search the Command F, revenue. All right, consolidated statements of last not. So revenue for the year ended 2017 was $20 million. 3 months ended March 31st, Q1 2018 was $7.8 million. So that implies they're taking the revenue up to, call it 24 million.
8 times 4.
7 times 4, 28.
7 times 4, 8
times 4. 8 times 4, 32.
30. Let's call it 30.
Okay.
So 30 versus 20, that's a 50% run, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now what about,
but a 3 point...
Certainly not making money. Spending way too much on marketing.
Well, you know, marketing and development. But if you look at the CapEx and OpEx of Aurora and Canopy in the last 5 years, they have a similar profile. In fact, one would argue that Tilray, because they spent so long waiting to go public, has actually been able to make a lot of moves on the backside that are not yet visible because we haven't had the play-by-play, here's how the company was built, that we would have had they been a public company. So there's lots of stuff bolted onto Tilray that we don't know a lot about because there's been no press releases because it all happened before they were public. So this is why Tilray is a tough one to value. I mean, you got your deep pockets, Silicon
and
Valley
those shares
guys.
are tied up, I would suspect, a lot of those shares. Because I think they say there's a lot of
50% is owned by privateer. I know that Brandon was here, and I think he said 6 million shares, and he has not sold a share.
He has 6 million shares of this.
Well, again, I can't
6
recall
million
exactly.
shares.
You can go back and look in the...
60 times, that's $250
have
million.
we published that interview yet with Tilray? Anybody? Control room?
Yeah, it's on the website.
It's on the website. Okay, so we have...
the
Tilray
control room's alive.
Yeah, the control room is with us.
I hear an echo.
So let's see. Oh, let's go to cannabis stocks here. I'll tell you exactly what Brandon owns, because I do recall he said that. A free Aurora Canopy. What? Okay. There he is. No, that's CanTrust.
It was published yesterday?
It was published yesterday. Oh, okay. Shoot.
Oh.
Okay, Brandon.
I wouldn't mind some more water.
Jeez. Ed's just...
No, you know what? Don't. The show's almost...
Okay, let's go. Own. Oh, no, this is...
You know what?
Oh, God. Firefox is a boob browser. Let's go to...
You know what? Use. I think the one you want to use is
431.
Chrome. Let's. Maybe we could pick it up here tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite done, so I'm going to just talk about this.
What are you going to talk about?
I want to find out how much stock that Brandon has in Tilray. I'm looking for the answer to this question. The answer to this question is on our website, but it's not on the front page. What? Oh, there he is, Tilray. Okay, so now
Gracias.
Command F.
Garcia.
Okay, there's 8 versions of own, down, grown, town, downtown. I guess we didn't say owns. Maybe we did. Oh, no.
Okay, you go ahead and keep doing what you're doing.
Shares. No.
No.
All right.
Nope.
He's not talking about how many shares he's got. I thought he did. No. This is all on the front page. Anyways, that concludes our show for the day again today. We're going to be back here tomorrow with another show with a whole bunch of people. Never mind how. We'll figure out how many shares Brendan owns because it'll be filed somewhere on CEDAR. And we'll come back to you with that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and visit us on Midas Letter. Sign up for the newsletter because soon it's going to be worth a lot more than it is today.
Okay.